pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today is Tuesday, March 8, 2022, the time being 6:30 p.m. The meeting of the Greensburg City Council is called to order at this time. Please silence all electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that's available on the table in the back of the room. Amy, would you please call the roll?
Amy Kane?
Here.
Rick Emsweller?
Here.
Kevin Fleetwood?
Here.
Vieta McKenzie? Here. Darrell Poling?
Here.
You all should have received a copy of the minutes from February 8, 2022. Were there any additions, edits, or corrections to those? If not, we'll take a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie,
Second.
second by Vieta. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. First thing under old business, Ron May, City Engineer, Ordinance 2022-04, which is amending 21-15.
Good evening. Last month you all passed on first reading this ordinance amending the stormwater utility ordinance. It is exactly like what you saw last month, except there were 3 typos corrected. One was the spelling of Jamie's name. One was a year, and I forgot what the third one was.
The ordinance number.
The ordinance number, correct. Questions? The whole purpose of this ordinance is to change the billing methodology. The original ordinance said the county would bill for us. That didn't work out, so now we're going to bill it through the utility office for these changes.
It's also a good opportunity to mention we have scheduled our public education workshops for this on March 23rd, which is a Wednesday. Commercial will be at 4 p.m. here at City Hall, and residential will be at 6 p.m. It is a opportunity for individuals to ask questions. Sheila, who works with Christopher B. Burke Engineering, will be here to assist with facilitating that as well. So those are on the agenda.
And while the afternoon session is intended for commercial properties and the evening for residential, if someone can't make the correct one, they may come to the other and so get questions answered.
Any other questions on 22-04?
I'll make a motion we approve 2022-4 on the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jamie, seconded by Darrell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
Thank you.
Chief McNeely, do you want?
Sure. Good evening, Council. This will be very short. I'm here to report that I have no report. Ended up that we got it finalized late last week. I didn't get a chance to get it printed to bring it to you this meeting. I'll be on vacation next week, but I should have it to you the week after that. So plan on it coming. I'll probably just drop by your house or something if that's all right with you guys.
It's kind of weird, you know where they live.
It's my job.
Turn your lights on when you come.
Thanks. Clerk Treasurer Amy Bournes, you have a additional appropriation for the Greensburg Community Schools.
Yes. This came, they got a bond, I believe. So it's just a matter of appropriating that money. I don't know if there's any questions about that.
It's for $550,000. Any questions? If not, would take a motion to approve ordinance 2022-05, additional appropriation for Greensburg Community Schools for $550,000.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Darrell. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Rick. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. That has to come back on second reading next month. Street Commissioner Mark Clustercamper with everybody's favorite week of the year, Heavy Trash Week.
Proposed to have it the 16th or the 20th of May. That's the third full week in May. If you don't see an issue with that, that's what we're going to go with going forward. That's the same. That's the third full week, and we always had it in the past a third full week. That way we have some part-time summer help that shows up to help us battle through the week.
Same day as your trash service,
Mhm.
and we don't accept tires and appliances and appliances with CFC and electronics.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions for Mark on that? If not, we'll take a motion to approve May 16th through the 20th as Heavy Trash Week.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie,
Second.
second by Vieta. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
Thank you.
Hopefully it won't rain this year. Councilman Fleetwood, you had a question you wanted to propose about an ordinance change in the future.
Last year we approved ordinance, it was ordinance 2019-40, which allowed the use of UTVs on city streets, but in section 1 we excluded state highways that run through city streets. And I mean, just a friend of mine has one registered in Connersville, and he called me, he said, hey, up here we can ride them on the highways. And so I got a copy of their ordinance, and under authority set forth in Indiana Code, it's 9-21-3-3.3. Off-road vehicles are permitted upon all highways inside the city jurisdiction. So I guess my question was, it's not on the agenda, but based upon this Indiana Code, would you guys be opposed to amending our ordinance to allow them to ride on the highways that run through the city? You're talking Ireland and Main Street and 421 till the city limits. And if so, put Chris to work.
And I think technically part of the bypass too.
Yeah, out to
Railroad tracks?
rail, yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Mike before the meeting, and you know, there's been no issues with the people that have got them plated and registered in the city. I mean, what, we have 125
Roughly.
so.
I don't have a problem with it.
Don't give in so easy. What do you think about chickens?
About chickens.
I'm just asking, don't give in so easy.
We can insert in conference committee.
Yeah, there you go. Just-
And then on that, and then Mike and I talked before, another thing we talked about was the renewals, their annual renewal for this registration, but nowhere in our ordinance did we have all these things renewed by a certain date. You know, I guess the original thought was, oh, they just do it on a annual, you know, yearly, so if you went in November, whatever, but I guess my thought would be that it'd be cleaner for the police department if there was a cutoff date that they knew after a certain date, everybody should have the new sticker on their vehicle, so there's no question of, oh, are they on the year, so they have to worry about when I got mine registered and when, you know, other people got theirs registered. So I guess we kind of was tossing around out there in the hallway, modify it to have all annual renewal by, was it July 1st? Was it July or June?
I'd say July 1st.
By July 1st, just, you know, make
I'd
that.
say sooner than that, because you're getting out earlier.
If you say March, that.
That's
then
what-
they get-
that's
Well, a lot of them aren't out by then, though.
March,
Well,
April.
But if they don't have to renew it then until they're ready to use it, right? But at least it makes it easier if somebody is gonna enforce, they know that sticker's there, right? I don't know, or, I mean, I guess if the sticker color changes every year.
That's all they're
It's
gonna do,
easy, yeah.
like right now, the plates say 22, and we go in for a recertification, re-inspection, we'll get a sticker to put over the 22 that says 23.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why don't you split the baby and call it May? May 1st. One of you said July, one of you said March, and that's.
May 1st.
I'm
Because once you start, it's a year.
I'm gonna be
anyway,
writing it,
so
so I'll
it's
just put whatever I want.
So, I mean, after the meeting, I'll give you all the stuff I got for Indiana code. and
Yeah,
blah,
you
blah,
do
blah.
have the code,
Yeah, I got mine, I printed out offline, so,
as long as you look at it, I don't have a problem.
thank you much.
Jamie, you want to do an update from the Board of Works?
Jill Pratt came from the Greensburg Public Library asking for a street closure on Washington Street behind the library. We gave our approval pending the approval of the nursing home that actually owns that section of the street.
Is that a dead end?
Yeah, Washington Street right there behind, I don't know that it doesn't quite dead end, it actually goes into the drive to the nursing home there. Right? Yeah, or it goes into or you can turn off of it into the library. So, St. Mary's came and asked for road closure for On Eagle's Wings. We approved that. I'm trying to find where I put the date. I didn't write the date down.
August 27th.
August 27th, yep.
So,
Sorry. Thank you. Then Jared Klostercamper came and we approved some outdoor seating for Tree City Brewery. Chief McNeely came to report that he had nothing to report. No. And then to request street closures for some basically city events on June 16th. We approved street closure on Franklin Street, and then October 20th on Ryle Center in Ryle Edition as well. So there will be food there as well, so don't mark your calendars. We approved a contract for the wastewater department with MS4 for compliance with NPDES, like updates to a contract. So we'll have a contract not to exceed $10,000 in helping develop those updates for the requirements there. We approved the disposal of old salt spreader for the street commissioner, Mark Klostercamper. Ron came and asked for the approval of resolution 2022-1 for a stormwater credit manual. We authorized that. And then we authorized the change order number 16 for building renovation, which actually was an $8,265 credit to the city. That's it.
Any questions for Jamie on that? Before we adjourn, I think one thing that we talked about this, we had our board governance workshop last month, between last month's meeting and this one, and there was a discussion about providing sort of board updates to the council from those boards that each of us individually sit on as part of this. So, for example, you're on solid waste, so you would provide any updates on solid waste very briefly, and then here's what we talked about, or here's what we're working on, or here are the heavy or the tox away dates, things like that. So I think as you go through the next month's worth of meetings, whether that be the redevelopment commission or plan or Main Street, whatever that be, so maybe keep that in mind for next month. There will probably be a section on the agenda that we just very quickly kind of go around the table and say, here's what's happening in these committees. Part of the reason and discussion for that is so that everybody is more educated, better educated on what's going on in those, just like we do the Board of Works. So, questions on that? Okay, if not, anything else to come before the council?
I'd just like to mention before the meeting, I learned that Jamie and his wife are celebrating 25 years of wedded bliss today. And
Happy anniversary.
I want to congratulate Mrs. Kane for those 25 years.
And it's Mr. Fleetwood's
It's Mr.
birthday.
Fleetwood's birthday.
Happy birthday.
You're too old.
Anything else? If not, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Vida. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?